An ideal retrieval device has a thin shaft to allow good irrigation and not to have a negative impact on the flexibility of the flexible ureteroscope. Still, the device needs to be strong enough to hold the fragments. The device should be flexible so that it can be pushed towards the fragments, for example to grab fragments in a deep calyx without losing its shape. Retrieval devices have different purposes in endourological procedures. In stone procedures, sometimes dusting technique is used, where the dust is expected to pass spontaneously. However, sometimes fragmentation of a stone is a better approach, and the retrieval device is needed to make the patient stone-free. To retrieve fragments is also needed for stone analysis. Another scenario is when a double pigtail stent has gone up in the ureter and needs to be extracted. In those cases, a good and reliable retrieval device is very useful. The Dakota Retrieval device can be used in endourology cases, such as retrieval of stone fragments when needed. In tight spaces, a tight ureter, the stone fragments can be captured from below the stone. The fragment can also easily be relieved from the basket if the ureter is too tight to bring it out. In the renal pelvis, stone fragments located at the bottom of a calyx can be captured by pushing the very flexible basket toward the stone while closing it. The flexible basket will regain its shape when pulled back. According to my experience, the wire of the Dakota Retrieval device does not impact the flexibility of most flexible ureteroscopes. I have used the Dakota Retrieval device ever since it was launched, and I still think it is as good. Furthermore, using other retrieval devices, it has happened that I have needed to dismantle the device to solve a situation where the basket and the stone have got stuck in the ureter. In my experience, that situation has never occurred using the Dakota. I believe the risk of getting stuck is very small due to the easiness to let go of stone. As endourologists, we deal with all different situations of stones in the upper urinary tract. Sometimes fragments have to be taken out. It may be to prevent outflow obstruction, or, in cases of an infection stone, to eradicate the bacteria. Stone analysis is also important, especially if the patient has a recurring stone disease. In those cases, stone extraction is needed. After fragmentation of a distal stone, small fragments are being extracted for stone analysis. The Dakota device is also excellent for retrieving very small fragments. For secure stone extraction, it's mandatory to have a device that is flexible, reliable for catching the fragments and easy to let go of fragments, as well as strong to hold the fragments. It is also important that the device keeps its shape, despite being manipulated. The Dakota serves all these needs. The handle of the Dakota Retrieval device incorporates a feature called OpenSure. The OpenSure feature on the handle allows the distal part of the device to open to a larger diameter beyond the baseline basket size. With a single press of the OpenSure handle, large stones can be released. This feature eases the let go of fragments, which in my experience reduces the risk of getting stuck and potential damage to the mucosa. The Dakota Retrieval device have saved several of my procedures where the ureter was very tight, especially in cases with an impacted stones and the fragments had to be taken out. In situations where the stone cannot be passed by the retrieval device, stone fragments can be picked by holding the device below in the ureter or in front of the stone, which does not work using a round basket. Since the Dakota device allows me to easily let go of stone fragments, the risk of getting stuck and to damage the mucosa is minimized based on my practice. Here we had an impacted larger ureteric stone with smaller stones proximal to the larger stone. It was not possible with retrograde access, so antegrade access was used. As you can see, there is gross edema. To pass the stone with the basket, may risk perforation of the very fragile mucosa. With the Dakota Retrieval device, I was able to extract fragments head-on by using the OpenSure Dakota handle without the need to introduce the device along the stone. An in vitro study by Beckes and co-workers more efficiently caught and released stones larger than 7 mm as compared to a similar basket. They compared head-to-head the durability, versatility and efficacy of Dakota and a competitor basket. The authors of this study found that both devices had similar durability characteristics. However, their findings were in favor of the Dakota basket for capture and release of stones over 7 mm. They found that the OpenSure handle of the Dakota basket conferred an advantage for handling and release of larger stones that could not be dislodged by gravity or shaking.